Buenas tardes, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Hold up, we already did this before. Guard! This is the double up. Now, as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, in a menudo style in direct fashion, bang bang, sas, all those catchphrases that I've brought to you over the times and over the years, the last couple of years, a lot of people recognize me by face, by expression, by my language, by the way I get down. Everybody knows that when it's menudo style, it's going down in a direct fashion, right? Now trip out, the word on the curb, the question of the day, what everyone's been asking me, is something that I put out there. See, I put feelers out there. I said, I wanted to gauge and feel where the community was at, where the people were at. If the raza was still for the people, by the people, if you were still rocking with me quite extensively like you've been doing. And the word on the curb is, and the wind's blowing. Yes, they are, right? So would I ever quit my YouTube channel? Charlie, acknowledge me. It's not going to happen. Okay, there will be some diversity here, meaning I will switch a few things up as far as some of the content, a lot of the visuals, the editing, things of that nature. It's gonna happen. It's going, don't fight it. I said, don't fight it. It's gonna happen, right? But at the end of the day, it's gonna be the same old gun getting this bang bang on in a menudo style. Period. Now, I wanted to tell a story today. Now that we got that out of the way, so the question of the day: am I leaving YouTube? The answer is hell no, I'm not. Right? Now, I put that out there because, hey, at one point in time, I was thinking about it. I was contemplating it. I was like, you know what, maybe it's time for me to move on and get my groove on. Maybe it's time for me to jump into something different. Maybe it's time for me to go Hollywood. I said, I didn't say North Hollywood, Gil. I said Hollywood, though, period. Not Skid Row either. I said, I don't want to be chilling with Johnny. But one thing I do want to do is bring you guys the best possible content I can. So the only way for me to do that is to continue the struggle. So I decided that for no other reason, Charlie, I'm not going to give up the ghost. I ain't going nowheres, Holmes. And I'm going to continue to do me and do mines. And speaking of that, well, here's a story that was brought to my attention earlier that I needed to speak on. So get your geek on. You already know what it is, man. If you knew better, you do better. Make your next move your best move. Period. Now, when I was incarcerated out of state, and I thought about this earlier on my spill that I did this morning, it came to me and I was like, oh man, I forgot all about that. Let me put it out there. Something went down. Okay, something went down that had never happened before. Now, with all this beef going on between Conejo, King Little G, Little Ra, Mr. Soto got involved. He's saying, okay, the water's just fine. I'm going to involve myself. And I know a little bit about this and a little bit about that on the inner workings of what's going on between these individuals as far as this rap beef. I remember a rap beef between myself, several of my homeboys, and the Southsiders as well. Oh, you didn't know? Well, here's the story about it. How a rap beef turned into a riot on the Yarda. So this prison I was at, out of state, North and South was actually functioning quite good on a yard. Now, there was the beefs, the discrepancies, that I don't like you, I don't like guard, remember? I don't like you, right? But at the same time, you stay on your side of the yard, I stay on mine, and we kept it very respectful. Now, there was always tension there. In this particular place, it could pop at any given time. We already knew what it was, and we started to accumulate a few numbers, meaning we were about 10 deep at this time. There was a few of us, 10 deep for us, and again, we were winning, and the winners were, right? Now, there's probably about 75 to 100 Southsiders on the Yala, and they posed a great threat to us. But at the same time, like I said, it was very respectful. These guys were cordial in their dealings and willings with us. If they seen us in the morning, it was, hey, what's happening with it, right? And that's about it. That's about as much as you got. You can't squeeze lime juice out of a lemon. That's it. But we tried our best to keep it cordial and respectful. Now, on this yard, we had a lot of things going on because it was a penitentiary. Now, there's difference between institutions and penitentiaries. Just like in the feds, there's difference between correctional institutions and penitentiaries. Penitentiaries, you get a lot more than you would get at an institution. That's just the way it's always been. It's old school. It's set in its ways. There's a lot of old school convicts that have been around. There's a lot of lifers. So they give them a little bit more incentive to continue to do well. If you don't give lifers or people that are doing a long time incentive, well, guess what? They're going to lose hope. And when they lose hope, someone's going to lose their throat, right? And that's just how it is. Pensa la tira. Facts. So this place where I was at, we would have things like car shows. They would give us food sales. If you don't know what a food sale is, refer to the Gunner's Handbook, chapter 13, line 1, where it says food sale. Now, look, the food sales would be like from Burger King, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and everyone's favorite pizzas, right? We like pizza because you could order unlimited amounts, and every homeboy would buy like 10, and we'd be dogging those motherfuckers. We'd get our grub on, put it like that. But it was always cool to switch it up. Now, when you have these incentives popping, when you have these things happening in prison, it's big deal. You know, whereas you can go right now, you can get up off your lazy ass and go to Burger King and have it your way. Go get a Whop Nasty, right? You can go get an Impossible Burger, right? And it ain't impossible to get up and go do that unless you're on a bike, and then it's a little impossible. But go do your thing, handle your business. Now, the easy way. Now, in this case, when you're locked up, you'll wait 3-4 months for that next food sale, and you're anticipating it. If anything goes down prior to that food sale, so there's going to be some heads rolling, because vatos are going to feel like they got gypped up out of what they had coming. You know, we're looking forward to that Whopper. Like a Whopper con fries? Oh my, you know, because you don't get that in prison. You're eating the same old bland food time and time again, and whatever you can make, you know, your little spreads, but those get old after a while too. Anyone that's been locked up for an extensive amount of time, you already know what it is. There's only so much you can do with sopas and hot Cheetos. So anyways, we were waiting on food sales. We were getting all that. And I remember they decided that if for no other reason, the administration, that they were going to let us have a concert on the Yarda. Now, this concert was going to consist of a few groups that they had there, which were Christian groups. They were going to sing their Christian rock music, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, or whatever they were going to do. And then, of course, they were going to let open mic where people could freestyle rap, tell jokes, comedy, whatever the case may be. Well, we had a homeboy that was a norteño that was actually a decent rapper. He wasn't well known like Conejo or Big Tone or Casper Lokes or none of these good rappers, but he was good. Well, the Southsiders also had a few good rappers that could get down on the microphone. So we felt that if for no other reason, we would have some sort of kind of like a competition without a competition. Everybody was talking about it. Ooh, bandsaw, who's going to be better, the North or the South? Everyone always trying to make it a North-South issue, except for the North and the South, right? We already knew there was an issue there. We didn't need to speak on it. It was what it was when it became what it was supposed to be, right? It is what it is, so it is what it is. You know how I do it. Bang, bang. So anyways, I remember the Southsiders, they set up the stage, and of course the Christian rock went on, and they were, "Eye of the tiger is the thrill of the fight." Sounded like Ayada, but they did it. Sprinkle the Woods, and Brother the Woods got on there like, "We're not gonna take it." I said, "No, we ain't gonna take it." But there was a few of them in the cuts that just took it, right? Anyway, so now it was our turn. It was our turn, and graciously, like the G's that we were, we said, "Nah, hey, go ahead. Do your Southside thing. Yes, it first. La primera lives," right? So a couple Southsiders went up there and they started rapping, and they were good. And they kept it respectful, and they just talked about their waters, their hoods, their life, growing up eating tortillas and papa frias and all that. It was good in the hood, man. We enjoyed it because being Chicanos, being brown, and just hearing a brown man, you know, rap, been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope Northern beat to step to. So it was our turn. So when the homeboy got up there to rap, he was talking about his water in his neighborhood, and we could see the Southsiders were getting a little agitated with it. They weren't feeling the fact that the homeboy was up there speaking on his neighborhood. Now, he wasn't disrespecting anyone. He was doing exactly what they had done, representing their neighborhoods and being proud of where he was from and where he grew up. But these vatos started to take it disrespectful. So another little short guy got up there. I'll never forget. And he got up there and he started to rap and talk about his neighborhood. And at the same time, we were like, "Yeah, what the?" You know, we were just happy. We're going with the groove. We weren't seeing it for what it was this guy was intending to disrespect us, but do it subliminally. Now, that happens a lot nowadays. This was back in them days. But these days now, subliminals. Rappers throw out subliminals that only him and they know. You know, remember when you get your tattoo covered, hoes? I know it. Oh, I know, right? And you know who I'm talking about in real life. Bing, bing, right? Anyways, con un B and shit. Come on, depends on Latina, I know. Anyway, so this is how it goes down, right? People, you know, will throw subliminals out there that only they know. So this vato starts throwing out, "Couldn't walk the yarda, couldn't be," you know what I mean, and all this, and put your shirt on, and whoop de whoop, and we're like, "Hey, hold on now. We went from this to this. Watch out. Hold on now. I'm gonna take my shirt off right now. So I feel violated, right?" And we start to talk amongst us and like, "Hey, bro, I think this vato's trying to disrespect us." But he wasn't looking at us. He wasn't pointing at us. Wasn't saying our names. He was just like, "Vatos can't walk the yarda. We got it sold up. Pissing on the soul." Right? I was like, "Oh shit. It was high power like a pony, but not on a camel. It's going down," right? So then the homeboy got back up there, right? I'm gonna hit an encore, and he said, I never took my shirt off," whatever he said, right? It was like going back and forth. Can I get back up there? It's like, "You know, you put your shirt on. This is Unit 3. I don't give a shit. I'm a big X3, right?" And he's doing this thing, And oh my God, I'm there. I ain't no buster, but I'm 140% don't trust her. Don't even trip, because if I must, then I must put on my hot dog mustard, right? They were doing a rap back and forth, disrespecting, and then it got blatant. And it got blatant because the Southsider got up there and he was like, "Trip out, I ain't no buster. You are." And we all rushed. Now, it was a 10 on 100. And I ain't gonna lie, I was getting drugged this way and that way. It's like this and like that. My beanie was getting pulled off. But we still stood our ground. Now, this was the first time in the history that I had ever seen something kick off over rap music. Okay? It was pretty bad, man. Someone got meta-flighted out of there. It got to the point when the disrespect was happening, everybody was gearing up and getting ready. And so everybody just got off. It was like, "Ready? This is Sparta!" And everyone handled their business. Now, of course, man, we all got snatched up and thrown in the oil. They figured eradicate all the Northerners off the yard. There wasn't enough of us to sustain. And that's numbers. That's the numbers game. And it's always going to be like that, even in the state of California with numbers. If one group has the dominant numbers, they just throw waves at you. Throw waves at you. And they're consistent waves. And you can't sustain it. And over time, no matter how hard you are, you're going to fall. You know, the numbers game, it's a sticky situation. I don't care how solid you are. If you got a couple good solid soldados that are just down and got major hands, you can't fight 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 people. Okay? I don't care who you think you are. You're not Big U knocking out 32. You're not on power with 36 blow guys. It just ain't happening. Anyway, so it went down. Now they take us to the hole. We get at the powers that may be or whoever's back there that's running the yard. The actual factual guy is actually in the oil. And we get at him. I remember he was from Largo. And I remember chopping it up with them like, "Hey," he said, "What happened, Holmes? I thought the functioning was good on the yard, you know, respects to my northern brothers or whatever." And I said, "Hey, you know, over rap music." "Rap music?" He said, "Come on, Holmes." I said, "We don't even listen to rap where I'm from, Holmes. It's puro oldies, Brentwood or what, right? You can't." And I understood the situation. Now, that was my first time when something so frivolous as a rap song or a rap battle became big beef. It usually doesn't go down like that. Usually, rap is a form of expression. It's an art, man. You could do your thing. But nowadays, and even then, people say things and people take it the wrong way, or they get mixed up, or they're not hearing what they want to hear, or they're saying what they want to say. And at the end of the day, it's going to disrespect someone. Now, the stuff going on with King Little G Conejo, it's getting disrespectful. You know, Misfit Soto jumped in the mix, and he decided to throw a few things out there that probably only him and King Little G know. Now, King Little G, of course, in the background is like, "Hey, you're nothing but a cops," or whatever. You know, he has stuff to say. And they're going to go back and forth and get disrespectful, and it's going to spill over. Now, if you don't see that, if you ain't a real one and don't notice that, then come on now. You know, we seen King Little G just did a interview with the individual where he's talking about, you know, let's see receipts, let's see this, let's see that, let's see if you're really about unity, let's see if you're really about all this and that. And I myself sat back and watched because I support the individual's platform. But I sat back and I said, man, a lot of this guy's saying makes sense, but at the same time, it seems like he feels like he's the only one doing something for the raza or for the people. There's a lot of other individuals that are actually putting their foot forward and handling business. People like Swifty G, they're out there handing out turkeys and potting chains. Then you got people like Misfit Soto, who's out there doing his thing. Conejo's been doing that and done it. Capone, you know what I mean? He hands out tickets in the Walmart parking lots. Everyone's winning. The Vatos up north, I don't know. They're smoking Yaska and getting their hair braided and rapping viciously and violently. It's going down everywhere, but everyone does something for their community. That's a fact. I know this to be true. I've seen it with my own eyes. But when people start to act like, "Oh, I done more, you done less, or you done less and I done more," it's only going to cause chaos. It's going to cause drama. It's going to be the brown man fighting the brown man again. What's new, huh? I reflected back on that melee that we had. I don't call it riot because there was only 10 of us. But that melee we had at this prison over rap beef, it went down at the rap concert. I remember the blacks was mad because they didn't even get a chance to rap yet. They was like, "The essays always mess everything up, cut." Oh, correct. Yeah, man, I hate essays, right? They were tripping, right? The Woods were like, "Hey, hey, we're trying to go in anyways, brother. We don't care about this rappity-dappity shit," right? And that's just what it was. Everybody felt the way that they felt. But at the end of the day, it was done over nonsense. We were brown men that looked exactly the same, ate the exact same tortillas, but we're tripping off of putting shirts on and where you're from and where I'm from and all this and that. Now, of course, we're at that time when we're in the mix, we're active as hell. We're not going to say, "I don't care. Forget your yarda. Hey, but we're not going to get Burger King in 2 weeks now because you guys blew that." And then I guess you're not going to be the Burger King and have it your way then, huh? I guess they lied when they said have it your way. You can't have it your way. You're in prison anyways. They say, "Eat a sopa." This is how it was. you know, in a menudo style and direct fashion. And it's continuing, you know, with all this subliminal disrespect and all this rap beef, you know, that spills out into the real world. You know, there's real gangs doing real gang, living that gang life. And people that are watching everything that's on YouTube. See, back in my days, I chopped it up with the homeboy earlier. He was like, damn, bro, I wouldn't even tripped off of YouTube. I said, myself either. I don't know what YouTube is it? Is that YouTube? You know, but it's part of our life. It's part of our livelihood now. It's become ingrained in society. Social media, not necessarily just YouTube, but you got Twitter, you got, you know, you got the Twitter figures, you got the Twitter figures. Keep it going, keep it going. Whatever it is that you got going on that you pay attention to, whether it be IG, Twitter, or TikTok, right? Wearing the pants that are tight to lift your butt. Whatever you do is on you. But at the end of the day, every day someone picks up their phone and they go, oh, hell no, she got out, right? And that's just what it is. So it's up to us as entrepreneurs, as content providers, as people, to express how we feel in a respectful and righteous manner. It's just rap music. It doesn't need to go any further than that. I've been in the mix where it actually did, where I got hands put on me. I had to put hands on someone else. Why? Because the vato could rap a little bit better than the other one? Or why? Because the vato wasn't feeling the lyrics? Nah, I'm sitting here putting my life on the line. I could have got, thank God I didn't. Spencer, I got the burpees just thinking about it. I could have went through some bad bubble guts, some bad stuff, all because of vato can't rap. You know what I mean? Nah, it ain't that serious. You know, respects to Conejo, King, Little G, and Misfit Soto, and all these individuals, man, that are going through their turmoils, their trials and tribulation right now as we speak, concerning the rap beef. I don't think Conejo's too concerned. I think he's just living his life. I know Misfit says, hey, Holmes, if you want to get to G-Rabs, you got to go through me. And now, you know, from the word on the curve is King Little G's in the lab 24/7 about to do something vicious and violently concerning Misfit Soto. We'll see how that all plays out. Again, I don't play no sides. I'm from up north, so I don't got no horse in the race anyways. But I do listen to good music. And good music will always be just that, good music. Can it turn into a vicious encounter? It did for me. Pensa, I remember that. Hey, I was all mad too. Damn, man, I wanted to see this one brother, he could rap, man, on Block 6. I wanted to see him get down. But now look where we're at now. Sitting there in the oil, eating cheese sandwiches, all stressed out the game. You know what I mean? Cool part about it is they took our shirts. At least we had our shirts off. Pensa, the Northerners wiggle. And we slide. And we slide. And we slide. Anyways, with that being said, gente, I just wanted to throw this 2 filler out there. You already know what it is. Bang, bang today. The answer to the question, am I quitting YouTube? Them's jokes, y'all. Hell no, I'm not going anywhere. And, of course, the extensive story that I told, all facts, all real, you know what it is, and you know the deal. With that being said, move with a purpose, get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, if you're not doing it, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, eh? You know what I mean? I'm tired. I'm tired, too. I'm brown, and you know, I get up. My boots, they're not like Dubs. They're not Morpheus, right? But they're damn near. You know what I mean? They're running on fumes. That's it. If you don't like me, you can hit me with a thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I honestly and truly believe in. And that's the coming together of all people and telling real, authentic, funny, actual, factual stories and bringing you some of the best content I can possibly on YouTube. I am that one. They call me the gun. Not the stun gun. Not the BB gun. Not the water gun. But the gunner. Bang, bang. And in that fashion. Hey, it's about to talk about, hey, put your shirt on. That's it. Don't you see I'm trying to wrap up here? You know, stop looking at my chin. You know what I mean? I know. Bang, bang.